Today, I want to share with you what 88 weeks of a consistent painting practice looks like inside of my watercolor journals. So I'm a lifetime artist, so I've been painting for years and years, but what makes the last 88 weeks especially exciting is that 88 weeks ago, I painted that challenge, which is a weekly community project where we all paint the same photo. I will tell you more about that at the end of this video and invite you to join, but what I want to say up front is that this challenge has helped me paint more consistently than anything else. So most of these pages are from that challenge, some are from the in-between. So here is what I've learned. Number 1, painting connects you. A lot of people feel, and I have too in the past, that painting is a solo endeavor, like it's something you do in isolation by yourself. But painting in this community challenge has been one of the most exciting parts of my journey. Not only, of course, is it awesome to meet other painters and love up on each other and get excited about other people's art and talk to them about it, but every Sunday we share our pieces, and no two pieces ever look alike. So this has taught me that there is no right way to paint. Your perspective is what makes it art, and in fact, the more different perspectives there are of the same reference photo, the more exciting and interesting it becomes. And I know this sounds super cheesy and cliche, but when I paint, I just feel connected in general to the moment, to humanity, and even to artists who came before us. So I feel connected to the great masters and even our ancestors who painted on cave walls. And looking forward to the future, I hope one day my son will treasure these watercolor journals as much as I do, and I really hope that they become a treasured part of family memorabilia. Number 2, not every piece is a masterpiece. Let's be honest, some paintings flop, and that is okay. Now, this truth sometimes really stings because we want our paintings to be masterpieces every time. And I honestly don't know why people expect that, because when you are learning anything else and trying to grow and improve, you don't expect every piece to be a masterpiece. There is this idea that if you can't point to the giant pile of mediocre art, you are not putting in the work. You will never become a good or great painter if you expect every piece to be a masterpiece, because often the ones that flop are the ones that you learn the most from. Number 3, watercolor teaches us patience. So when I rush, I make muddy messes, and I know I'm not alone in that. And with watercolor specifically, patience is important because we co-create with watercolor. We are not the boss of watercolor. It works with us. And so we have to be patient because that is what it needs to create beautiful art with you. Number 4, the ugly phase is part of the process. Every painting hits that messy middle where you want to give up. And the painters that never get good or great give up at this time. Don't do that. You have to finish your paintings. That's how you improve and you learn. If you need to step away from your painting, you can, but finish your paintings. Number 5, the paintings you don't want to do often teach you the most. So in this community challenge, our reference photos are different every week, and because we all have our own preferences, oftentimes we are not inspired or excited to paint that picture. But 90% of the time, when we share our pieces on Sundays, somebody will say, or multiple people will say, I was not excited to paint this piece, but I'm so proud of myself for finishing it because it taught me so much. Number 6, harder is not always better. To keep the joy alive in your painting practice, you have to mix easy, moderate, and challenging subjects. If you're always pushing yourself, you will burn out. Number 7, your style finds you. You do not have to chase your style. If you paint enough, it naturally emerges. Follow what you love, realistic or loose, and your voice will appear. If you lean towards realistic paintings, don't force yourself to paint loosely, and vice versa. Your style will find you. You just have to keep painting. Number 8, know your paints before buying more. Most painters, especially beginner painters, don't know how to mix colors, and so they start hoarding paints without actually knowing how to use them. Most new colors can be mixed from what you already have, and depth comes from mastery, not more tubes of paint. So don't distract yourself by buying new tubes of paint, just learn the colors you have and learn how to use them and mix them and implement them. By the way, if you struggle with color mixing, I have a free color mixing workshop. You can follow the link in the description and sign up today. Number 9, painting can heal. Painting grounds me and it helps process emotions, grief, fear, and joy. It is not just a hobby, it is medicine, and this has been scientifically backed. If you are frustrated with life, grieving, if you have hit a rock bottom, are struggling with change, painting can heal you and help you move through these hard times. So when you feel like painting the least in these moments is when you need it the most. Number 10, starting again is hard but worth it. When you stop painting in your painting practice, it is really tough to restart. But even a few brushstrokes can get the momentum back. But it happens to all of us, unfortunately, that we fall out of our painting practice a little bit. So in those moments, lower your expectations so you can just get right back on the saddle and keep painting. Number 11, you don't find time, you make time. If painting is a priority to you, you will make the time for it. A few minutes here and there is all that matters. Tiny, consistent sessions build big progress. I promise you, you can wake up 10 minutes earlier, take your paints on your lunch break, or paint for 10 minutes before you go to bed. Number 12, stop watching and start painting. You learn by doing, not by watching endless tutorials. Number 13, this is the most important one, you guys. Your paintings are not precious. This kind of ties back into falsely believing that each one needs to be a masterpiece. But when we think each one needs to be a masterpiece or feel like each individual painting is precious, we are scared to ruin them or even sometimes to begin. What's precious is not the paper, it's you showing up again and again. And over time, you will create a collection of paintings, both mediocre and amazing, and that is what's precious. So there you have it. After 88 weeks, here's what I know. Be patient. Finish your paintings. Your paintings are not precious, and let imperfection teach you. Paint what you love and also what scares you. If you've been waiting for a perfect time to start, this is it. So now I want to invite you to join the I Painted That Challenge. You can use the link below in the description. Like I said, this is a weekly community painting challenge where we all paint the same photo every week. It changes every week, of course, and we share it on Sundays. So there is a link below in the description. You can sign up and I will send you information about the challenge and how you can join in, and you will start getting reference photos on Mondays. So that brings me to the question of this video. Do you have a regular painting practice? If not, what do you think is holding you back? And if so, what are some of the most important things that you have learned? Drop it below in the comments section. I would love to read it. All right, well, thank you so much for looking through my watercolor journals with me. If you would like to watch last week's tutorial from the challenge, we painted a beautiful glowing beach sunset from the Philippines. You don't have to go anywhere to watch it. You can just click on it because it's coming up right here.